Thank you, Alex. We'll give it a couple more seconds here, and then I'll get started and get you guys going. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. That way, those of you guys who signed in on time can get to the other things that you have going on tonight. Thank you for all those attended. I wanted to say, first of all, I thought the fall season went really, really well. We had some good results as a club across the board. Of course, there were some hiccups along the way, some things that we could certainly do better, and we want to address those. And so tonight, I want to make sure that all of you have kind of a plan to kind of wrap up the season, and a couple items that we need you guys to definitely address. The first of which, everybody should have got an email today regarding player evaluations. Very, very important. I know they're not the easiest to do. We're trying to streamline the form so that you're actually in your names of players and your team shows up so that you don't have to do all of that. But right now, just the data that we have and being able to condense it easy to just include parents' emails and your player name and get it under the right team. We just don't have the right system right now to compile that. And so unfortunately, it's up to you guys to get up on TeamSnap and put in every parent's email, and hopefully you guys have a spreadsheet or something that you can do it a lot easier. But I really want you to pay attention to your player evaluations, because this is your opportunity to provide valuable feedback to your players about what they can do if they're going to do something over the winter, what they can improve on. And, you know, we all answer questions on the sideline and after games, you know, coach, what can I do better? Or why aren't I getting the playing time and so forth? Here's your chance to address those. It's not so much, you know, a grade card as it is an opportunity where you can say, hey, of all the things that, I mean, we can find things for every player to improve on, but you have the chance right now to create your team and create the play that you guys are looking for and the style that you want to. by telling your players specifically what they can address. So definitely take the time in the comments section. Again, last spring I touched on it. Always leave something that they could improve on, and always leave something in the comments section about what you thought that they did well. You have to also stroke their ego a little bit and say, hey, this is what you did well, and this is what I'd really like to see for the spring season, you to improve on. So please take those seriously. The second thing, which might be a surprise to all of you that don't have a child currently coaching, I created a parent evaluation just to get some feedback from our parents. And it was a 10-question survey that asked not only questions about coaching and practices, but about just overall the season, the competition, and again, left a comment section for parents to let us know specific things that they would like us to address. That isn't something that I, wanted to turn around and get on you guys back. I will give you the feedback from those. I've actually already collected over 60 responses in just the 6 or 7 hours that I have it posted. It went out to all club players, parents, and I'm compiling those and putting them in folders, and I'm going to give you basically a summary of the responses. The majority of the feedbacks have been overwhelmingly positive. I've enjoyed reading a lot of things that parents have said about you guys, about how you treat their children, how you coach, your sportsmanship. But it's also kind of interesting getting into some of their minds of what they value as important training and important things that they would like to see us do. And so I'm going to give you guys that feedback. You're going to have to give me like a week or two at least to kind of compile it. And I'm sure they'll trickle in as people get around to doing the little survey. But I want to give you guys that feedback. None of it will have the parents' names. So I told the parents so that they could answer it honestly that I would withhold the name. But like I said, I think for the most part, it's been great. Occasionally I've had one that I've tripped up on that I've kind of been an eyebrow raiser, just kind of strange requests and things that I would have never guessed, but hey, we asked, they answered. So the parent evaluations went out today. And so I'll give you guys that feedback as soon as I can compile it in a timely, and I'll probably filter out some of the stuff that it just doesn't matter. I mean, if you really want to know, I can give you all of the ones that were turned in by your team, but for the most part, I'm gonna do kind of the same thing you guys do to the players. I'm gonna give you the positive feedback and say this is what they said, and then I'm gonna say, hey, this is what they'd also like to see as well. Okay. Another important thing is our winter plans. What I need from you guys, I need to know for sure, and this is like concrete, I have to know if you're not returning in the winter, after the winter. I need to know if your spring team is not going to exist anymore, or if you're not going to coach. That's immediately. That's not something I want to know March 1st. I've got to start making plans for holes if we have holes as far as to fill with coaches. Right now, I have not received anything from parents that have said, hey, we're going to break up or anything like that. So I'm not wanting to alarm any bells right now or make you guys think that somebody is planning on changing. But if you know ahead of time that your team is folding and is not going to play in the spring, and this is not counting the teams that aren't going to play in the spring, that their girls are going on to high school teams. I know those teams are not going to be playing in the spring, but if any of you just said, hey, after the fall season, our team doesn't look like they're going to be full, please give me a heads up. I know with our boys who probably aren't even on this call, our older boys teams, we're going to throw a tryout out here in the next week or two in November. and try to catch any more high school kids that maybe didn't think they wanted to play club soccer, had a great fall high school season, and is looking for a team. And so if that's the case, and maybe you lost a player or two over the winter, maybe an injury or something, and you're looking for players, we certainly could arrange and publicize a tryout for your age group. You're just going to have to get a hold of Jarek and I so that we can plan it. Other winter plans, we're iffy on a indoor futsal league. We have a facility. We have a gentleman that wants us there. We have nights. We haven't been able to handle details about it. And so right now, I don't know that we'll have a full-on league, but we'll have a place and a night. And it's looking like they probably will just have to pay a cover charge, and we'll do kind of pickup style games there. And so when we get a definite from the person we're talking to, we'll pass out that information to you guys. If you've already entered a league in Kansas City to play futsal with your team, that's fine. Again, anything over the winter is on you guys. Lots of times I wouldn't coach over the winter, but my parent manager wanted to get a team in a futsal league or whatever, and that's fine. But we won't be collecting any formal fees through the office. So everything would be on you to pay for any leagues or tournaments over the winter. Field usage, huge one, because it's already piling up and I'm already having to be a traffic controller. If you want to use the fields over the winter, that's fine, that's great. But please okay it through Jericho. One, we want to make sure the facility is open for you. And two, we want to make sure that there isn't multiple coaches scheduled at the same time. We are hopefully going to move to a much easier and better field registration system. But again, when the new director of the club is appointed, these are things that we're going to evaluate with them and strongly ask him to deal with right away. And one of those is the field usage and how we sign up and make sure that you guys can be able to see that like on a weekly basis. Is a field open? Because we know that rainouts kind of hit us and this fall, and that's actually one of the complaints on the parent evaluation is there were a lot of canceled practices due to saturated fields. What's your backup plan? And unfortunately right now there isn't a backup plan other than we just reschedule practices or you practice on a different park or field that isn't ours. So, but let me know in the next week or two what your winter plans are, especially if I need to know. If you don't have any winter plans, highly encourage the Techni app. All of that stuff on Techni right now is really geared towards them being able to do at home, indoors, outdoors. So encourage that. That's really when we need the players to do that. You know, when they go to your practice twice a week and games on the weekend, they may not want to take the time to do the Techni app, but this would be a good time to improve their technical skills so that you're not having to spend quality coaching time working on touch or dribbling or shooting when you could be diving a little bit deeper into your team goals and things like that. So again, clear field usage through Jerica. Make sure that you email her and say the times and the days you think you'll be out there, and then we'll make it happen. Because we are picking up goals and getting the facility ready for winter, and we need to make sure that we have fields for you guys to use if you want to use them. Spring plans. It sounds like, you know, we're not quite finished. For some of you, you're not quite finished with the season. And but again, one of the things that I want to make sure that we do as a club differently than we have in the past is that we're a season ahead. And so I want to be a season ahead. The office, we're going to be a season ahead so that we can better help you guys do what you need to be doing. And so I need you to start thinking about what division you're going to be in. Again, some of the feedback that I'm going to give you, a lot of the parents have felt that their competitive division that they were in was not as strong as it should be, and that you should have been playing at a higher level. Some of that you can't control. But on the flip side of it, if you guys, and I know Heartland's deadline is going to be coming what feels like in the next month. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it'll be December or even January, but it just feels like every year they get earlier and earlier when they want you to send them their money. But if you don't get the division you want, talk to me, please. I can't promise that I can change it, but I've had a pretty good result when I call down there of getting things fixed, at least with teams that I've coached. They are well aware of me. So there is probably a good possibility that I can get you into the division that you want. Remember, we want to challenge the kids. Obviously, we don't want to put them somewhere where they shouldn't be just for the name Division I or Division II. But at the same time, the parents aren't enjoying beating people 5 or 6 goals, and they want to see their players improve. So think about what division you should be in. Think about what your results were this fall and what you can do to challenge and make your players better. Make sure your tournaments are appropriate. And I think you guys all did a great job of that this year, looking at the results, looking at you guys posting pictures about what tournaments you won, being at a lot of those tournaments. I tried to go to all of your games. Sometimes I was able to say hi to you. Sometimes I was just walking by on the sidewalks or in the kind of the peripheral so that you didn't see me. I thought you guys all did a great job. There wasn't any time where I stopped and I said, what are they doing? So I thought you represented us very, very well. And then again, it's never too early to start getting in field requests to Jerica for the spring. And obviously there's going to be a great rush for everybody that wants to get on the turf. And I completely understand that. I promise we are trying to figure out game plans and try to work around, because the spring will be probably wetter than the fall was. And so we're trying to do some backups and trying to work with other agencies and other things here in town to try to give you guys an alternative place to train. And that is in the works. So I can't promise anything for sure, because we've got to get the people on board and got to get, either contracts signed or at least a friendly agreement that this is going to happen if we run into these problems again. Okay. The odds and ends. There's some things that we've got to do better in the spring, and I want them just kind of in the back of your mind. Our receipt system. And again, I have no idea. I wish I could give you guys a definite answer about the candidates for the director of the club. I'm almost as much in the dark as some of you, and I'm sure some of you know way more than I do. When that person is named, we'll have a meeting as a staff, and he'll definitely ask what things that I would like to improve on or what things need to change right away. I have several on my list, and most of them are to better your experience with us. So the receipt system of giving and paying for tournaments, we're going to streamline that much better so that, there isn't a lag time where you are paying for a tournament and not getting a receipt. For those of you who were able to send in, we'll pay you later tournament. We need to make sure that the receipt is done in a timely fashion with the person that has to okay the funds for that tournament. And I thought it went a lot better this fall than it did last spring for the little part of the spring that I was in. So, kudos to Alex for being able to do that from half a country away. But the coaches payments was a big deal, was a big issue. And I want to streamline that as well and make that just so much better for you guys. You shouldn't have to worry about when you get paid and how much you get paid. So some of that was out of our hands in the accounting department that we work with. From what I understand, changed to a different system, and it certainly messed up a lot of you guys as far as your coaches payments each month. So I want to get on top of that and make sure that we do things right, and that's not something that you have to stress out or be concerned about. Stay connected with your teams this winter. If you're not going to do anything, that's great. That's fine. Like I said, I took winters off many times. But check in with them, occasionally drop them an email, occasionally, if you can do any kind of team building things. Winter is awesome for doing team building things. You can get them involved with any kind of volunteering or anything as a team. We used to do that when we were Topeka Select and Independent. We would go to KNI, we would carol. A lot of our teams would do different things that they could do around the holidays to help out. So some of that kind of stuff is fun, and it creates a stronger chemistry and bond for the season. And then I do believe we have some equipment for you. I did not check with the office today when it is, but I might be mistaken, and you're probably going to hold me to this, but I believe we have coats for you guys, stadium coats that are meant for you to wear on the sideline when it's cold, which would be really nice, like right now. So I will send you guys out an email when you are confirmed to come pick those up at the office, but I don't know if we're just kind of waiting to make sure that we got the whole pile in. Obviously, there's still issues with delivering of our ordered Puma gear. So as soon as all that's in and I can get you guys that, you're welcome to come pick that up. But of the people that are online, does anybody have any questions? Okay. Well, that is almost 20 minutes to the T. Again, thank you guys this year. As soon as the changes happen, and there are changes coming our way, I will keep you guys well informed. I do planning on having a in-person meeting before the spring season. I want to make sure that we're all prepared and ready, and give you guys some tips and things that we can kind of prepare our kids for the tryout process a little bit more like other clubs are doing. And so that it's not such a big surprise, and make sure that we looked a little bit more organized than we did last year. And we certainly want to make some changes to our tryout system that we did last couple of years, so that we can improve communication, improve your experience, and hopefully be able to improve your team. So that's our goal. So plan on that. When and where is still up in the air. Obviously, it'll probably be indoors somewhere. So I'm working on that as well. So to try to get all of you guys together at one time. You certainly will want to meet the new director of the club as well. So yeah, count on that later on this winter. Well, if there are not any questions, I will conclude the meeting. And you're certainly welcome to email me anything. And then hopefully the rest of the coaches watch this as well.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you.